Hello, hi, I'm Pearl Howie, and this is my podcast, Pearl Escapes Fear of Success. And I am sitting in a field basically, so you might hear a horse neighing, you might hear a little aeroplane, you might hear all kinds of things. This is my fourth take of this, and I've been interrupted in some fabulous ways. So, this episode is called 2020 Vision. And the reason for that is because I'd like to use this podcast to take a minute and for us to look at how we can use what we have seen and experienced in 2020. And don't forget, it's not over yet. There's still 3 or 4 months left. So a lot could happen in 3 or 4 months, as we've seen. But I think for most of us, well, for all of us, this year is not what we expected. But I want to try and add a little bit of perspective to that, help you to find your perspective. And the word vision, it really brought to mind a Native American ritual, which is called a vision quest, when very roughly people go off into the wilds and seeking answers. And it's a kind of thing that you find in many traditions around the world, in pilgrimages, in, say, the Aboriginal walkabout, and many other cultures. And it's something that I've always done, really, to wander off when I'm confused, when I'm hurting, when I don't know what to do. And I've always found that wandering off, whether it's, down to the beach or even to the supermarket or traveling around the world, I've always found the answers if I'm open enough and if I keep looking, if I keep listening. And one of the things that happens in that kind of vision quest, and it's so powerful, is we come out of our comfort zone. We come out of a space where we know what's what. So, for example, if I'm sitting at home trying to find the answer to something, I only have around me what I've already let into that space. Whereas when I come out somewhere like this, in a way, anything could happen. In a way, I let go of that control and I let go of that need to control my environment. And I open up to the world and I open up to nature and possibilities, and the fact that a dog might come up and jump up at me, or I might encounter someone I don't like, I might have a negative experience. Anything could happen. It could rain. Anything could happen here. And it's allowing that unknown in, allowing that mystery in, that allows us to find truth. It allows us to be open to what we didn't know. And it's really, you might call it embracing the unknown. And even embracing chaos. Embracing things that are too big for us to control. Like the weather. And so this year has been that, right? Too big for us to control, too big for us to understand most of the time. I'm not just talking about government guidelines. There really is a gap in our knowledge here, and it's something I think we all struggle with. And I was reading an article yesterday, and it was all about how we need to regain control by having habits and timetables and some kind of routine. And I kind of go, nah, this is about understanding that we just don't control life. I didn't control the way that I was created and many of the things that have made me through my life. There's a lot of stuff in there that happened. And I could sit and say, why me? I could sit and say, why? For the positives as well. Why did I get so lucky? How did I get so lucky? But I know that there's just a lot of it is unknown and mystical and chaotic. And that's what life is like. And I think if this year has taught us anything, is that we need to embrace that and be open to possibilities. But this isn't just about, what I think. This is about you. And this is about you using the enormous amount of work that you have done this year. Because you have, we all have. We've worked so hard this year in so many ways. We've worked possibly physically, maybe emotionally, maybe intellectually, to just get through, to just get to this far into the year. And how do we use that work? And how do we use what we've learned, what we've seen, what we've heard? Because I think probably a lot of us are still doing a thing of almost still wanting to go back to normal, still wanting to go back to what we used to know. And from my perspective, I don't think that really honours the work that we've done. It doesn't honour the work that everybody's done. It doesn't honour the many lives that have been lost and the things that we have missed out on this year. So I'm just going to try and talk through, some of the things and the ways that we can kind of put this into practice and we can use this. So for many of us, our relationships have changed and we have seen different perspectives of people. So for example, the people that we thought of as being weak may have been stronger, may have been more resilient, may have been more encouraging this year. The people who we thought of as strong or powerful may have crumbled, may have kind of lost it a little bit and not been able to cope with these changes and with the loss of control, with not being able to call the shots. And we've seen a side to them. And that's very interesting when we see people who can't have things their way. How did they react? How did they behave? And I'm not just talking about on a big global scale. I'm talking about our intimate relationships, the people that we know. And for me, I found it quite easy to judge other people, and I found it the judgment has definitely crept in for me this year, and I'm working on that. And it's I found that something also, judgment of me has crept in from other people, and it's a piece of work really to resist other people's judgment of us and resist our judgment of other people. It's hard work, especially for me. And that's something that we can all sort of learn from this year, because we are seeing a lot of judgment. We are seeing a lot of judgment around the world. And our idea of strength has changed as well, that we've seen, because so many people are struggling with mental health problems, that the work that we've done to create practices like, for those of us who've studied meditation or mindfulness, that has come in really handy this year. Being able to do things in a certain way, being able to adapt, has become a skill that's been so important this year. Being able to find peace in the middle of chaos, and being able to let go of the things that no longer serve us, or what we might not be able to have right now, and to find joy in the small things, even in the clouds and listening to the birds. So the thing is, I'm not the same person I was in January 2020, and I'm sure you're not the same person you were either. That's an impossibility. But we still have time this year to use what we've learned so far. So for example, we might have someone in our lives that has continually shown us that they can't really deal with what's going on. And so maybe what we need to learn is to let go of that expectation. And we may have people who've shown us that no matter what happens, we will come back together, and they will be there for us, when it's really dark. And we've all had blips as well along the way. And we may have surprised ourselves with the sacrifices we have been willing to make, with what we have been able to do when at the beginning of this year we might have thought that was impossible. And yet we've adapted and grown and learned how to do things in new ways. But most of all, I think this year, for me, and maybe this is something to consider, some things I haven't been able to do. And eventually I've let go of those things. But other things I haven't been able to do. And so they've become more precious. They've become more like goals that I know I will do when I can. And I've branched out into many, many different things. So for example, this podcast, or courses, or teaching in a different way. And I've embraced things in a different way. So I've embraced the possibilities that have been shown to me with Zumba. And I've reflected and gone back to certain other ways of reaching out and connecting. So different kinds of social media that I'd kind of given up on. And I think, well, I might as well connect on there because I ain't going to anywhere exciting. I'm not going to any pubs. So I might as well use what I've got and what's right in front of me. And I've been grateful for all the things that have come my way accidentally. But I don't want to make this episode, this podcast, to be the same routine things you're hearing from lots of different places. And I suppose the question is, I don't really know what my 2020 vision is, and I don't think any of us can, because we still have a few months to go. And when I was on my pilgrimage in Spain, I would say, and Portugal, people would say to me, well, where are you going to spend tomorrow? What are you going to do tomorrow? Where are you going to go tomorrow? And I would say, I don't know. I'll get up and see what I'm going to do tomorrow morning, because I don't know who I'm going to be tomorrow. And they would say, oh, wow, ooh, that's so cool. That's so deep, man. And it's strange because here I'm like, well, I can kind of say I'm going to be in the same place for a little while because I can't really travel that same way as I did. But I still don't know how I'm going to be tomorrow. So I guess I can hope that I get up tomorrow and can find the humour in situations, that I can find the joy in situations, that I can find peace and strength, courage, all those things. But I'm also looking further than that. I'm looking to the end of this year and I'm saying, what do I want to grow between now and then? What do I want to encourage in myself? So in a weird kind of way, I'm using looking back at the last 8-9 months to project forward the next few months and say, in a way, I'm kind of setting a New Year's resolution for January, for the end of this year. So what I want to do is I want to work on my OCD, my paranoia. I want to work on the things that are causing me difficulty. And I want to let go of the fear and blossom in the directions that I have been going, to keep working on my Zumba, to keep working on my courses, to keep reaching out and connecting with other people who want to talk about fear of success and imposter syndrome and all those things. And I guess the thing is, what I really want to do is just keep going in the hope that by the end of this year, something great will happen. Even if it's just keeping it together for another few months. And so if you're watching, I'm just seeing some lovely people walking their dogs going by. And there's still life, and there's still friendship, and there's still neighbours. And try and embrace that a little bit more as well. Finding ways of being close and supporting each other. And keep doing that this year. So I hope this makes sense, and I hope this helps. And I guess the thing for me right now is thinking I've got a few more months of this year to embrace the possibilities, the chances, the unknown, and to find a way of being that's going to serve me for the rest of this year. To look at what's not working and let go of anything that's holding me back and find my way again. Let's just hope that works. Okay. Oh, I got a dog coming to play with me. I think I'm a dog magnet or something. They just keep coming over. Okay. Well, I've learned something about myself this year, which is that I am a puppy magnet. Who knew? Or maybe they just know when I come out for a walk that I need a cuddle. We'll see. Okay, I hope this helps. And take care and see you soon. And if you've got any questions, just drop me a line. I'm on pearl@pearlescapes.co.uk. And we keep hearing this thing, we're all in this together. And sometimes that feels true, sometimes it doesn't feel true. Sometimes it feels with certain people we're in it together, and other people are kind of still sort of floating above, waiting for things to go back to normal. We'll see what the next couple of months will bring us, okay? Take care, and as we say on the Camino de Santiago, buen camino, good journey. Bye.